Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cosmic Owl Astrology. I am the Cosmic Owl, Louise Eddington, and today I'm doing the week ahead forecast, but because of the holidays, I'm doing from Sunday the 22nd, and I'm going to go slightly into the week beginning 29th because we are actually away for the week of the holiday of Christmas. So I'm not sure when I'll get back to record the following week. So I'm going to do, probably about 9 days of energy forecasting and pull cards for that period. But then also when I get back, I will do the week after. But before I dive into the week ahead, I've got a new mic and being, ancient. No, I'm not ancient, but I have, been setting up and playing with the settings for this mic. And so I'd love to know if my voice is louder now. People are always saying my voice is too quiet. And of course, I was using a decent mic, but this one's better. So hopefully, hopefully the sound is a lot crisper, clearer, and louder, and you don't have to have everything at full volume. But otherwise, I've got two things on offer at the moment. I have a free quantum astrology gathering. It's kind of like one of those summits. I've interviewed some amazing astrologers. You will see the names in the link if you look below, but they include Ariel Gutman, the creator of the Venus Star Point. They include Rick Levine, Steve Judd, two of my favorites, and I was really excited to also interview Mark Jones out of England. But there's lots of others. There's probably lesser known astrologers, Meghna Bhagat. There's Suzanne Gerber. I've been on her summit a couple of times, but I've made my gathering completely free. I'm not going to be selling the recordings or anything like that. So if you want the recordings in your inbox every day between January the 6th and 17th, just register below at the link. And then also there's a link below for my Venus retrograde class, which is just the most amazing class. Every 19 months when Venus goes retrograde, I run this healing journey. It's astro-shamanic in nature. Throughout the class, 7 weeks, 8 calls, you will learn so much about the Venus cycle, but so much about this specific Venus retrograde. But we'll also be in community doing very deep shamanic healing journeys. The feedback every time I've done this class is amazing. But what's special at the moment, as you get this week ahead video, is that I have an early bird offer. So if you join or register before the end of the year, December the 31st, the price is $100 off the $397 full price. And not only that, there's also a 3-pay option of 3 times $100. After January the 1st, it'll go up by $50 and there'll be 2-pay option. And then in February, there'll be just a 1-pay option. So, please come and join. We had 125 people in it last time, and it was amazing. So it is a healing journey during the period of Venus retrograde, and it just is so magical. So I'm just pulling cards while I look at the energies and talk to you. And oh, nice cards, but you'll wait to the end for the cards. Let's dive into the week ahead. So, okay, now I've lost my software from messing around with the settings to hopefully have the sound amazing for these recordings. So as usual, I'm going to do the major aspects. I'm not going to look at all the lunar aspects or all the asteroids. I write about those in my daily Substack for paid Substack subscribers, because I have to make my money somehow. so anyway, but also like, subscribe, and comment. I always love your comments. So we start the week on December the 22nd with the moon finishing up the journey in Virgo. We also start the week with Mars retrograde in Leo, has moved to degrees back from its retrograde station. Mars has just opposed Ceres as we do that, needs met and unmet. Jupiter is still retrograde until February, I think. I can't remember the exact date. Chiron is coming up to station direct though this week, so I'll talk more about that when we get to that day. And you can see this Jupiter-Saturn square is approaching fast because Jupiter's moving this way and Saturn is moving that way. So I'll talk about that. And of course, the Sun is at 0 Capricorn because we just had the solstice. In fact, the Sun is still at its standstill for this day, the start of the week. But that's at 0 Capricorn, which is a world point, which is the turning of the wheel. It's return to the light in the north, losing of the light in the southern hemisphere, but it's also a cardinal sign. So it represents new beginnings, and the cards will show that. All right, so one other thing I'm going to mention before we dive forward is we are really at lunar maximum. Lunar maximum is when the nodes meet 0 Aries and 0 Libra, the North Node at 0 Aries. And that means the moon is setting so far north, and it's just like at peak. And lunar maximum happens every 18.5 years approximately. It just means everything is extra heightened as well. So we don't start the week with the moon out of bounds, but I will tell you when we get there. All right, so let's dive in to the first day, 22nd. Well, on the 22nd, it's actually quite a quiet day. So everything's not all action, but we have an action-packed week and we will feel these things approaching. But as I mentioned, we start with the moon in Virgo, and at 2:07 p.m. Eastern on the 22nd, the moon enters Libra for a couple of days. And I always find the moon in Libra is seeking balance and harmony and beauty. Doesn't always find it, okay, but that's the urge that it wants to find. But then things kick up a gear immediately, December the 23rd. And for some of these things, I've done full videos on because they're such big aspects. But on December the 23rd at 5:39 a.m., the sun, Capricorn sun, will reach 2 degrees of 2 degrees 5 minutes of Capricorn and square the nodes. And this is called the moon wobble, the bendings, or it's a skip step in a natal chart, it's called. But I kind of like the bendings. At this point, the sun is moving towards the north node. And so it's moving towards something. But this is a lunar maximum, because remember, they are the moon's nodes. And this is always a turning point, a pivot point from something that began when the sun was conjunct the south node. And that would have been around the time of the eclipses. It's halfway between the eclipses. So we had eclipses back in October. The next lot are coming in March. Something's turning around. It can be points of peak emotional kind of energy, kind of big events happen sometimes during this. And I don't really hold with the thing of it's always about violence and so on, because some people say that, but I do find a lot of astrologers always look for the worst. I've been tracking them for quite a while, but it is a big turning point. So that's happening on Monday, as we see things heating up in the US government, right? By the time this comes through, we'll know if there is actually a shutdown. And I think as I record on Friday, they were trying to pass a new bill. Let me just quickly check. It's votes it down again. So whatever oh no, that was the one on Thursday. Sorry. I think they're trying to put up another bill. And Biden is staying on the sidelines. Good. I hope he does. Anyway, I don't want the government to shut down, but this is Elon Musk interfering in this. So, anyway, enough of that. We'll go to the political videos for that. Later on December the 23rd, Venus over here in Aquarius sextiles Chiron, and Chiron is almost at his station degree because Chiron is stationing direct at 19 degrees exactly, not 1 minute. And this is Venus thinking of the future, what she desires to create, and this is Chiron, the shaman, the wounded healer. Now, this aspect is activating the new moon solar total eclipse from April the 8th that was at 19 Aries. Something is coming that began back then. It's got supportive aspect with Venus sextile to it, and Venus in Aquarius being very much about the future we desire to co-create and be a part of the healing and playing our part. So that's what's happening on the 23rd. Now on to December the 24th, another big day. So I told you it started really quiet, and it's another big day then. I'm going to do a whole video on this as well, but this is Jupiter square Saturn. This is a cycle that began back on December the 21st, solstice, 2021 at 0 Aquarius. Jupiter and Saturn had what's called the Great Mutation, which is when we moved into this age of air with the Jupiter-Saturn conjunctions, right? And it brought in 200 years of Jupiter-Saturn conjunctions in air signs. But this is what's called the opening square, and it's the second of 3 squares in mutable signs. So it's kind of like a first quarter moon. It's the crisis in action stage. This is in about belief and rules and faith and communication and ideas. We can see we're at another turning point, and it's time to take action on changed perceptions, changed faith, changed belief, and how we believe the rules need to change. So it's a pretty powerful square. But also, Jupiter is sitting on the current Venus star point that began back in June. These are really potent times, as if you can't tell, in the world, right? So I'm not going to go into the news again with all of this. But if you have things at these points, so around 14 degrees of mutable signs, so that's Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, you have got a lot of big transformation and changing perceptions and all those kind of things going on. So it's a big square. Okay, on to Christmas Day itself. The moon will finish the journey through Libra and will enter the potent deep waters of Scorpio at 3:06 a.m. and will stay in Scorpio right through Christmas, right through Boxing Day, as we Brits call it, the day after Christmas. Now, it can be a little bit intense, and Scorpio moons can be easily activated and triggered, but they also can be deeply passionate and intense as well. So you could have a bit of both, but be wary of emotional triggers on Christmas Day. I think that goes without saying all the time. Then we move on to Boxing Day. There's no major aspects on Christmas Day. Thank you, universe. So on to Boxing Day, December the 26th. The moon is still in the sign of Scorpio all day. And Mercury at 5:47 p.m. will get to 13 Sagittarius, 46 minutes, and oppose Jupiter exactly. So this is really a mutable T-square of shifting perceptions, speaking the truth. Mercury is still going through the degrees it was retrograde at recently. Jupiter is still retrograde. These two are in each other's signs, so they're in what's called mutual reception. And traditional astrology would say they're in detriment, which means that they're kind of a bit more a bit more rogue. So adding to kind of the energy of being out of bounds energy that we've got coming up when the moon goes out of bounds. It's not yet, but also being at lunar maximum, we've also got these two energies speaking to each other, but in a very out of bounds kind of roguish way. All right. So I don't like the term detriment, but it kind of means they, Mercury in Sagittarius can blurt the truth. Jupiter in Gemini is taking in big ideas. I'm not quite sure why it was in detriment. Anyway, it likes to rule, maybe. I don't know. I don't like the terms, but there we go. Then on to December the 27th. So we're kind of whizzing through this. Mercury will then exactly square Saturn. So, this, you can see that this mutable T-square is really strong right over Christmas. And it's activating things that have been in play since June the 4th with the Venus evening star, the Venus star point that was at 14 Gemini. This, incidentally, is also conjunct the North Node of Uranus. This is why the news is constantly shocking and changing, and we don't know what to expect, and it's expect the unexpected, and changes are coming. This is all happening within you as well, though. It's like aha moments and all those kind of things jumping up and down. So then on to the 28th. But things might be said that should have been left unsaid. So be mindful of that. On to December the 28th, the moon moves into Sagittarius for about just over 2 days. As you can see, it will activate that mutable T-square while it's still active. So, bring the emotions into it. People are going to be speaking their truth. That's undoubted in so many ways. I also want you to note that the nodes have moved back to 1 degree. They're nearly finishing their journey in Aries and Libra. That finishes on January the 11th if you use the true calculation, which I do. But on December the 28th, just want to check one other thing. Oh, the moon has gone way out of bounds now. So December 27th. Early, I think, on December the 28th, the moon also goes out of bounds at lunar maximum, and it's going to reach its most maximum point at January the 11th. So this is such heightened energy again. And it's the energy of change, as I said, changed perceptions, changed beliefs, changed faith, changed way you look at things, changed alliances, all kinds of things like that, usually based on the information, based on natural laws and man-made laws. All right. So where are we? What day? 28th. Yeah. Moon's in Sagittarius. The biggest aspect is at 2:41 a.m. On December the 28th. And that is Venus over here, just sextile Chiron, now squares Uranus. And Uranus is the modern guide for Aquarius, and Venus is the guide for the sign of Taurus. So these two are speaking to each other as well, but not from detriment, as they say. But they are speaking in very strong terms, and this is radical change. Expect the unexpected, people to be speaking up for their values and what they value and what they want to preserve in fixed signs, what they want to conserve, what they think is worth conserving. It's a powerful aspect. Again, later that day as well, though, Venus also sextiles truth teller Eris. So Uranus, Eris, this is Saturday, December the 28th. There could be some big shocks and surprises that day, but also some big light bulb moments for many people as well. This is not necessarily bad for you individually. This can be like a kind of awakening kind of energy and saying, I'm not being quiet anymore. I'm going to speak out. So Then on December the 29th, so we're into next Sunday. As I said, I'm going to go a couple of days into next week. Chiron stations direct at 4:12 p.m. at exactly 19 degrees. Now, as I mentioned, this is the degree of the April the 8th eclipse. This is also the degree Chiron was at when the North Node entered Aries. And so this degree has been potent, potent, potent over and over again. And I think actually I should read you the Chandra symbols and the Sabian symbol for 19 Aries. I would not go up to 20 because it's exactly at 19 degrees. So we usually go up a degree, but I'm feeling that this should be the exact 19 degrees symbol. So let me quickly read them. I'm not going to read the interpretation unless it really stands out to me. But this is said to be expansive intelligence manifesting in a responsible degree. So a skeleton dressed in garlands of flowers is the Omega symbol. And this is about rejoicing in change and renewal, rejoicing in making the best out of things through this fresh approach to experience. To go back to some of the aspects, Uranus is potential possibility. All right. So, everything is quite magical at the moment if you lead into it and are willing to see what else is possible and see the potential. Now, the Chandra symbol for this degree is someone performing trephination. That's kind of an opening in the skull, right? So this, to my mind, kind of says breaking through the hard, well, he says it's breaking through the hard, crystallized thought forms that we have turned into a wall to defend the brain, and seeing that we can co-create the future we really want to do. Now I want to read the Sabian symbol for 19 Aries, because it's such a potent degree, right? Okay, so let me go to, which is my favorite blog at the moment for it. I kind of like sabiansymbol.typer.com. So the actual Sabian symbol is a magic carpet. Amazing. So rise above it all. Magic carpet is a symbol suggesting a transcendent action that can be freeing, liberating, or relief from hidden sources. So, the magic carpet ride is saying open to those possibilities and kind of co-create them with Venus in Aquarius, Venus square Uranus, right? Saying look at what's possible, what your potential is, what you're not seeing, and know that how you respond to some of the earlier challenges in the week will help you move forward and co-create. So that's December the 29th, the Sunday, Chiron stations direct. And then I just will take you to December the 30th, because we'll be back by then. In fact, I might do one more day because I'm probably going to have a really busy day that Monday that I get back. So December the 30th is the Monday. And there's no major aspects, but the moon moves into Capricorn, joins the sun, and we have the new moon of 5:26 p.m. I did a whole video on that. It's quite a powerful new moon because of where we're at. The moon is way out of bounds again. In fact, at this point, oh my goodness, it's 28 degrees, 26 minutes out of bounds, right? At this point. That's a lot out of bounds. That means that, emotions are over the top, but also it's a call to respond differently and set intentions to act differently and be very determined to act differently. Last day, and then I'll show you the cards. December the 31st, we have let me have a look at the aspects. Just need to move these up a bit. Pluto aspects the nodes. Excuse me. So Pluto, now fully in Aquarius, aspects the moon's nodes at lunar maximum, right? This is hurtling us into the potential of the future based on all these things that have been building into it. Also, you can see that Pluto and Mars are heading towards their second opposition. That's the next week, but aspecting the nodes, another potent point of possibility, saying, we have to integrate these things and move towards that taking a stand energy of the Aries North Node, and no more kind of rolling over and playing dead or being codependent or playing nice for the sake of it. That doesn't mean attacking. It means taking a stand firmly, boldly, being courageous. This is, I cannot believe the energies right now. And then lastly, last aspect, on that New Year's Eve, Mercury, the messenger, reaches 19 degrees of Sagittarius, still has not passed the degree it's station retrograde at, so it's still revisiting some energy, but Mercury will trine Chiron while Chiron is still at the station degree. There's going to be some really big truth to power spoken at the end of this year under that new moon, the no moon energy, because we're still in the dark no moon phase as we enter the last day of the calendar year. And then we're on to a 9-year and the year of the snake. Oh my goodness. 9 endings, beginnings, snake, shedding skin, transformation. And I've done a 2025 preview video, but I've even got more I could add to it, but it's going to be another big year. Oops, I froze a bit there. All right, so I pulled 3 cards and they are interesting. But before I do, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check out the Quantum Astrology Gathering, link below in the description. And also check out my Venus retrograde class before the end of the year. It really is just my favorite thing to do. And people have found such amazing things from it. One person, she came out as a testament, as an astrologer, and now has a YouTube channel as an astrologer that is earning her over, I think she said about $11,000 a year now. And it literally came out of the Venus retrograde journey. I guide you through the journey. I'm not telling you anything. There is an optional one-on-one class, one-on-one 30-minute reading, but it works without it. Works without astrology knowledge. Last time we had 125 in it. Oh my God. So anyway, one of the testimonials is going to take me a while to sort through and unpack all the gifts I took from this workshop. The work was that profound. What can I say right now? Just at the end of our time together is that I am not the same person who entered the workshop all those weeks ago. I am moved, I am transforming, I am tuned up, I shine. Without ever packing a bag or oozing through a plane ride or buying a bunch of expensive gear, I took a meaningful sojourn with Louise and the cosmic owls of the workshop. Believe every good thing you hear about the Venus retrograde workshop because it's all true. I hope to do it all again when possible. So, hope you'll consider joining us. Yeah, and honestly, it came to me in a dream from Venus. So, whilst I've studied and worked with Venus in great depths, I thank Venus for the class. So, cards for the week. The High Priestess, the Divine... there we go. The Divine Feminine. Okay, this is the Moon card. This is really kind of just the Divine Feminine, stepping up in so many ways. Now, I do want to read you. These cards are powerful, by the way. So these are cards for the whole week. I've actually gone to Crowley's book for it, which is the Book of Thoth. I'm quite new with this book, so forgive me if I kind of skim through and go, oh, what does that mean? What does that mean? But this is card 2, which is really Gemini as well, with Jupiter's in retrograde in some ways, because it's 1, 2. But it's, anyway, the 2, the High Priestess. So this card refers to the moon and is universal and goes from the highest to the lowest. It is a symbol which will recur frequently in these hieroglyphs. But in the earlier trumps, the concern is with the nature above the abyss. The High Priestess is the first card which connects the supernal triad with the hexad. That's in the Tree of Life, right? And her path, as shown, makes a direct connection between the Father, the divine masculine energy in his highest aspect, and the Son, S-O-N or S-U-N, in the most perfect manifestation. This path in exact balance in the middle pillar. There is here, therefore, the purest and most exalted conception of the moon. He says this card represents the most spiritual form of Isis, the eternal virgin, the Artemis of the Greeks. She is clothed only in the luminous veil of light. It is important for high initiation to regard light not as the perfect manifestation of the eternal spirit, but rather as the veil that hides that spirit. It does so all the more effectively because of its incomparably dazzling brilliance. Thus, she is light and the body of light. She is the truth behind the veil of light. She is the soul of light. She is the truth. Upon her knees is the bow of Artemis. So you may see that. Yeah. Okay. Which is also a musical instrument, for she is huntress and hunts by enchantment. So, this is a beautiful card. This is the spiritual manifestation of the feminine. Okay, because we've had that missing, right? This is the Holy Ghost in many ways, if you want to go for that symbolism. Okay, now the second card I pulled is the Fool, the Uranus card, and I mentioned Venus square Uranus, right? New beginnings, take a risk, take a leap, see possibilities for this highest potential of the coming future. And so we get 2 and 1. These are very powerful cards. So what does Crowley have to say about this? Well, he says a lot, so I'm not going to read it all. So, the Fool. Gosh, where does it begin? This is kind of the green man kind of energy. And he said, this is the negative above the tree of life, the source of all things. The Kabbalistic 0 is the 0. It is the equation of the universe, the initial and final balance of the opposites. In this card, therefore, quintessentially means a vacuum, means we're kind of at the ending, and the vacuum needs to fill with the sense of possibility and the new. And so, he writes so much about this. So I'm not even going to read it all, because just know that these 2 cards are amazing, really, for everything we have coming. And then we have one of my favorite cards, the Queen of Swords, cutting the head of patriarchy, but also it's swords. So this is ideas and news, and this is kind of saying cut the head off the patriarchy, but also cut out stinking thinking, cut out anything that really is holding you back, any ideas and old beliefs that that do hold you back. So where are his royals cards? Bear with me. I'm nearly there. Queen of Swords. Again, don't forget to check out my links below in the description. But there's the swords. Oh, okay. Queen. There we go. Oh, I see how he does it. He does Knight of Wands. Do you know, I don't know where the Queen of Swords is in his book. He's got these very mixed up. This is interesting. Okay, here it is. So this is the watery part of air. So incidentally, the Fool is an air card. So, and then the High Priestess is a water card. So here we have the watery part of the air. And this is the power of transmission. So this is, saying a keen observer, a subtle interpreter, an intense individualist, swift and accurate at recording ideas, confident in action, in spirit, gracious and just. Her movements will be graceful, and her ability in dancing and balancing exceptional. So this is really this is kind of saying, you've got this. You can move forward, you can express your truth, you can get rid of any limiting beliefs that stop you doing it. And look how relaxed she feels in that space. It's a really good week with some challenges on the way. But the challenges, I think, will for most people be kind of out there in the world. So much love to you. Don't watch the talking heads on the news. Don't watch the fear news. Know that we're going to be okay. But if it is to be, it's up to me. So much love. Happy holidays, however you celebrate. And I will see you next time. Though Kathy and Andy and I are recording next week. Bye.